The gavel slammed down with a finality that sucked the air out of the room. "Application denied," the chairwoman announced, her voice flat and unyielding as she slid the folder across the polished table. Isla Thompson felt the words hit her like a physical blow, her fingers tightening around Anya's under the table until the knuckles turned white. In that single moment, the future they had quietly built for 5 years, the home, the laughter, the little boy named Jordan who already called them the best moms ever during supervised visits, shattered because the board had discovered they were 2 women in love. Isla stared at the rejection letter, the bold red stamp screaming, "Not in the best interest of the child." Chicago's adoption agency, supposedly progressive on paper, had dug into their joint bank account, the shared lease, the matching rings they never wore in public. "We cannot approve a same-sex household for Jordan," the chairwoman added, as if it were a simple policy and not the end of everything. Anya's breath hitched beside her, but she stayed silent, the way she always did when the world pressed too hard. They walked out together into the biting November wind, coats flapping, neither speaking until they reached the parking garage. Back home in their modest Lincoln Park apartment, Isla poured 2 glasses of wine with shaking hands. "It's over," she whispered. Anya set her glass down untouched. "It's not over until we fight. Jordan needs us." Isla wanted to believe her. She wanted to believe that love could be enough. But the truth clawed at her throat. Her family back in small-town Indiana still thought she was the perfect single-career woman, the daughter who would one day marry a nice man and give them grandchildren. Her father, Reverend Daniel Thompson, preached every Sunday about God's design for family. One whisper of the truth and the scandal would rip through their church, their community, her mother's fragile heart. The next morning the phone rang before sunrise. It was Mia, Isla's younger sister. "Mom and Dad are planning a surprise visit next month. They want to see your new place." Isla's stomach dropped. She lied smoothly the way she had for years. "Work's crazy, maybe later." Hanging up, she looked at Anya asleep on the couch, dark curls spilling across the pillow, and felt the familiar war inside her chest. Love versus legacy. Jordan's face flashed in her mind, that crooked smile when he'd asked, "Can I call you both Mom?" She couldn't let him down. Not yet. By afternoon the agency emailed a final note. Jordan had been informed of the denial. He was being moved to another family. Isla read it twice, then slammed the laptop shut. She drove to the orphanage alone, begging for one last visit. The director, a kind woman named Mrs. Alvarez, shook her head. Rules are rules after denial. But she slipped Isla a sealed envelope. "He asked me to give you this if I could." That night, under the dim kitchen light, Isla and Anya read Jordan's letter together. The boy's handwriting was careful, the letters slightly crooked. "Dear Isla and Anya, they said you can't be my moms because you're 2 ladies. But I don't care. I saw how you look at each other like my real parents used to before the accident. Please don't stop trying. I want to come home with you. Love, Jordan." Tears streamed down Anya's face. "We have to send this to the board." Isla nodded, but her mind was already spinning ahead to the fallout. Because once they fought publicly, the secret would be out, and her family would never forgive her. The appeal hearing was set for 3 weeks later. In those 21 days, Isla barely slept. She threw herself into work at the law firm, defending a high-profile client whose own family drama made headlines, all while dodging Mia's calls. Anya painted late into the night, canvases filled with stormy skies and 2 figures holding hands on the edge of a cliff. They argued in whispers. "We can't keep hiding forever," Anya said one night. "Jordan deserves parents who aren't ashamed." Isla snapped back. "You don't know what my father will do. My mother's blood pressure pills are the only thing keeping her alive." The silence after was heavier than any shout. On the morning of the hearing, Isla stood in front of the mirror adjusting her charcoal suit, the one that made her look every inch the successful attorney. Anya kissed her shoulder. "Whatever happens today, I love you." Isla wanted to believe that would be enough. She didn't know it was the last normal morning they would ever have. The hearing room smelled of old coffee and desperation. Reporters had caught wind of the appeal. Some local blog had leaked that a lesbian couple was fighting the conservative agency. Cameras flashed as Isla and Anya took their seats. Jordan's letter sat in a plastic sleeve on the table, like a holy relic. The same chairwoman opened the session, but her tone had shifted. She looked almost uncomfortable. We have received additional correspondence from the minor. Isla's heart hammered. She had attached Jordan's letter to the appeal without telling her family. Now the board passed copies around. One member, an older man with a thick mustache, cleared his throat. This is compelling. Whispers rippled through the room. Anya squeezed Isla's knee under the table, a silent promise. But outside in the hallway, Isla's phone vibrated relentlessly. Mia had texted. Why is your name trending on Twitter? Call me now. Isla silenced it. She couldn't deal with that yet. The board recessed to deliberate. In the waiting area, Anya pulled her into a quiet corner. This could be it. We could finally have him. Isla wanted to celebrate, but dread coiled in her gut. The secret was leaking. By the time they reconvened, the chairwoman's face had changed. After careful review of the child's own words, the board has decided to reverse its previous decision. Pending final background checks, the adoption of Jordan Michael Reyes by Isla Thompson and Anya Rivera is approved. The room erupted. Anya threw her arms around Isla, laughing through tears. Cameras clicked. In that moment, victory tasted sweet. Until Isla's phone lit up again. This time it was her father. She let it ring to voicemail. That night they celebrated quietly with takeout Thai food and sparkling cider. Jordan would arrive in 2 weeks for a trial placement. Anya danced around the living room, already planning the boys' bedroom in bright blues and greens. Isla smiled, but her mind kept replaying her father's voicemail. Isla Marie, there are pictures online. People are saying things about you and some woman. Call your mother before she has another episode. The next morning the storm hit. Mia showed up unannounced at their door, eyes red-rimmed. I covered for you for years, but this? Adoption? With a woman? Dad's congregation is calling. Mom won't stop crying. Isla tried to explain, but Mia cut her off. You're choosing this over us. Over everything we were raised to believe. The betrayal stung deeper than Isla expected. Mia had always been her ally, the one who kept secrets when they were teens. Now fear had turned her into the enemy. Anya stepped forward, calm but firm. We're not choosing against you. We're choosing our family. Mia laughed bitterly. Your family? What about ours? She left without another word, slamming the door so hard the frame rattled. Isla sank onto the couch, head in hands. Anya knelt in front of her. We knew this could happen. We can face it together. But the calls kept coming. Her mother's voice trembled on the line. Tell me it's not true, baby. Tell me those pictures are fake. Isla couldn't lie anymore. Mom, I love Anya. She's my partner. We're adopting a little boy who needs us. The silence on the other end lasted forever. Then her mother whispered. Your father says if you go through with this, don't come home for Christmas. Ever. The line went dead. Isla stared at the phone. Anya wrapped her arms around her from behind. I'm so sorry. But sorry didn't fix the fracture spreading through Isla's chest. She had spent 32 years being the daughter they wanted. Now she was becoming the daughter they couldn't accept. 2 days later the firm called her into a meeting. The senior partner, Mr. Hargrove, slid a newspaper across the desk. The headline read, Local Attorney in Lesbian Adoption Battle. Clients are nervous, he said. We need you to keep a low profile until this blows over. Isla nodded, but inside she was screaming. Her career, the one she had built to make her father proud, was now collateral damage. That evening Jordan arrived for his first overnight. The 9-year-old bounded through the door clutching a worn backpack, eyes wide with hope. Is this really my room? He asked, touching the fresh paint Anya had stayed up all night to finish. Isla watched him explore, and for the first time in weeks the weight lifted. This was why they fought. This little boy who had lost everything still believed in love. But as Jordan slept between them on the pull-out couch that night, Isla's phone buzzed again. Mia had sent a screenshot. Their father's church newsletter naming Isla as a daughter who has strayed from God's path. The words burned. She slipped out to the balcony, cold air stinging her face, and cried silently so Jordan wouldn't hear. Anya joined her, pulling her close. We don't have to do this alone. Isla wanted to believe her. But the war had only just begun, and the casualties were already piling up. The following week blurred into a frenzy of paperwork and whispered arguments. Jordan settled in like he had always belonged, asking for pancakes shaped like dinosaurs and calling them both Mom without hesitation. His laughter filled the apartment in a way that made the threats from Indiana feel distant. Until they didn't. Isla's mother called at midnight. The doctor says my blood pressure is through the roof. Your father won't even look at me. Please Isla, just say it was a mistake. Come home and fix this. Isla gripped the phone until her fingers ached. Mom, I can't lie anymore. Anya and Jordan are my family too. The sob on the other end nearly broke her. Then I guess we've lost you. Click. Anya found her on the bathroom floor, phone still in hand. She hung up on me. Anya sat beside her, legs tangled together on the cold tile. We knew the price. But Jordan is worth it. Isla wanted to agree, but doubt gnawed at her. Was one child's happiness worth destroying her mother's health and her father's reputation? At work the tension escalated. A major client pulled out, citing family values concerns. Mr. Hargrove suggested a leave of absence. Just until the media dies down. Isla refused. I earned this partnership. But the writing was on the wall. Colleagues who once invited her to happy hours now looked away in the elevator. Mia texted daily, each message a new betrayal. Dad had a heart scare last night. The church elders are talking about removing him. How can you sleep at night? Isla stopped replying. Instead she threw herself into Jordan's school transfer, filling out forms with Anya's name beside hers in bold ink. Every signature felt like another nail in the coffin of her old life. One Friday evening the doorbell rang. Isla opened it to find her brother Ethan standing there, suitcase in hand. I need to talk to you. Alone. Anya took Jordan to the park without a word. Ethan didn't waste time. You're killing Mom. Dad's talking about disowning you publicly from the pulpit. Just come home, say it was a phase, give the kid back. We'll help you adopt as a single mom later. Isla stared at the brother who used to defend her from school bullies. You want me to lie to a 9-year-old who already lost his parents? Ethan's face hardened. Better than losing ours. He left the suitcase and walked out. Inside was a plane ticket home and a note. Choose before it's too late. That night Anya and Isla fought for the first time in months. He's manipulating you, Anya said. Don't let them guilt you into throwing us away. Isla slammed the counter. You don't have a family that will die from shame. My mother's on blood thinners because of me. Jordan's small voice from the hallway stopped them cold. Are you fighting because of me? They pulled him into a group hug, promising it wasn't his fault. But the seed of fear had been planted. The next morning Isla drove to the firm and accepted the leave. Her career was bleeding out, her family was fracturing, and the only thing holding her together was the woman sleeping beside her and the boy who called her Mom. The appeal had won them Jordan. But the real battle was just beginning. Christmas approached like a guillotine. Jordan made paper snowflakes for the windows, humming carols he'd learned at his old orphanage. Isla watched him and felt her heart split in two. She had always gone home for the holidays, midnight mass, her mother's ham, her father's proud smile when he introduced my successful daughter. This year the invitation never came. Mia sent a video of their mother crying in the kitchen. Look what you're doing. Isla deleted it, but the image stayed burned behind her eyes. Anya suggested they create new traditions, gingerbread houses with Jordan, a small tree decorated with construction paper ornaments he made at school. It should have been perfect. Instead Isla checked her phone obsessively, waiting for the call that never came. The firm's holiday party invitation arrived with a note. We hope you can attend discreetly. Isla tore it up. That same afternoon the local news ran a segment. Lesbian attorney battles family and faith for adoption rights. Her father's church was mentioned by name. Ethan called screaming. Do you know what this is doing to Dad's congregation? People are leaving. Isla hung up and drove to the lakefront, sitting in her car watching the gray waves until Anya found her. Come home. Jordan made you a card. The card read, Thank you for fighting for me. I love both my moms. Isla cried until her chest hurt. 2 days before Christmas, her mother showed up at their door unannounced, looking 10 years older. I had to see you. Your father doesn't know I'm here. She hugged Isla so tightly it hurt, then pulled back to study Anya. So this is the woman who stole my daughter. Anya offered coffee with quiet dignity. Jordan peeked from the hallway, curious. The conversation was careful, painful. Her mother admitted the doctor had increased her medication. But I needed to tell you I love you. Even if I don't understand. She left a wrapped present for Jordan, an old family Bible and a warning. Your father is planning something for New Year's sermon. Please don't watch. That night Isla lay awake beside Anya. She still loves me. Anya kissed her temple. But love isn't the same as acceptance. For the first time, Isla wondered if she could live with both. Christmas morning Jordan woke them at dawn, eyes shining over the modest gifts they could afford after the legal fees. Watching him tear into wrapping paper, Isla felt a fierce protectiveness. This was her family now, the one she had chosen. But the price kept rising. That evening Ethan texted a link to their father's sermon livestream. Reverend Thompson stood at the pulpit, voice breaking. Some sins come dressed as love. Pray for my daughter who has turned her back on God's plan. The comments flooded in hate, pity, calls for repentance. Isla turned off the TV and held Jordan tighter. We're okay, she whispered, more to herself than to him. New Year's Eve brought the final blow. The firm sent an email. Partnership offer withdrawn. Due to ongoing public controversy. Anya found the printout in the trash and pulled Isla into her arms. We'll figure it out. Together. But Isla felt the ground crumbling. Career gone. Family fractured. Only Anya and Jordan remained. She made a decision in the dark hours after midnight. She would fight for them, no more hiding, no more half measures. The truth was out. Now she had to live with what came next. January brought blizzards and a new kind of war. The tabloids had moved on, but the damage lingered. Isla's savings dwindled while she searched for freelance legal work that wouldn't ask too many questions. Anya picked up extra shifts at school. Jordan started therapy to process his new life, drawing pictures of 3 stick figures holding hands under a rainbow. Then the letter arrived from Indiana. Her father's handwriting on the envelope. Inside was a single page. If you want any relationship with your mother, end this immediately and place the boy for adoption with a proper family. Otherwise, consider yourself no longer our daughter. No signature. Just the church seal. Isla read it aloud to Anya that night after Jordan was asleep. The silence stretched until Anya spoke. He's asking you to choose between us and them. Isla's voice cracked. What if I can't? The argument that followed was the worst they had ever had. Raised voices, accusations of selfishness, tears. Anya finally whispered. If you walk away now, I will never forgive you. And neither will Jordan. The next morning Isla drove Jordan to school alone. In the drop-off line he hugged her extra tight. Love you, Mom. The word anchored her. She turned the car toward the airport instead of home. 3 hours later she stood on her parents' porch in Indiana, snow swirling around her boots. Her mother opened the door first, pulling her inside without a word. Her father sat at the kitchen table, Bible open. You came. The confrontation lasted 4 hours. Isla laid everything bare. The years of hiding, the love she felt for Anya. The way Jordan had healed parts of her she didn't know were broken. Her mother cried softly. Her father's face remained stone. Love is not enough when it defies God. Isla stood up. Then I guess this is goodbye. Her mother grabbed her arm. Wait. Please. But her father didn't move. As Isla walked back to her rental car, she heard her mother's sobs through the closed door. She didn't look back. On the flight home she stared out the window at the clouds and realized the irreversible line had been crossed. She had chosen. The price was her entire past. Anya met her at the gate, eyes searching. Isla simply said, "It's done." They drove home in silence, but when they walked through the door Jordan ran to her. "You're back." In that hug Isla felt the first fragile thread of peace. The following weeks were quiet in a way that felt like healing. Isla started a small practice from home. Family law for LGBTQ clients who needed someone who understood. Anya's paintings began selling online. Jordan thrived, bringing home perfect attendance awards and asking when they could get a dog. But the scars remained. Isla's mother sent occasional cards with no return address. Mia never replied to messages. The family she had grown up with was gone. In its place stood a smaller, braver one. One rainy afternoon Jordan brought home a drawing. 3 figures under an umbrella, labeled My Forever Family. Isla pinned it to the fridge and cried where he couldn't see. Anya wrapped her arms around her waist. We made it. Almost. Spring arrived with crocuses pushing through the last patches of snow. The final court date for Jordan's adoption loomed. Mere paperwork now, but Isla's hand still shook when she signed the last forms. The judge, a no-nonsense woman in her 60s, smiled for the first time. Congratulations, moms. He's officially yours. Outside the courthouse, Jordan hooped and threw his arms around both of them. Photographers snapped pictures, but this time the flashes felt like celebration instead of exposure. Back home they ordered pizza and danced in the living room until Jordan collapsed laughing on the couch. That night, after he was asleep, Isla and Anya sat on the balcony with a bottle of wine. The city lights glittered below. I thought I'd lost everything, Isla admitted. Anya rested her head on her shoulder. You gained everything that matters. But closure came from the most unexpected place. A week later a letter arrived from Isla's mother. Inside was a simple note. I watched the court video online. He looks so happy. Maybe love really is enough. I'm proud of you even if your father isn't ready. Call when you can. Love, Mom. No sermón. No conditions. Just a crack in the wall. Isla read it 3 times then showed Anya. They cried together, happy tears this time. Jordan found them on the couch and climbed between them. Why are you crying? Isla kissed his forehead. Because sometimes the best families are the ones we choose. Months passed. Isla's practice grew. Anya's art show sold out. Jordan started calling Anya Mama and Isla Mama I depending on who was cooking. The 3 of them planted a garden on their tiny balcony. Tomatoes that never grew right but made them laugh anyway. One evening as the sun set over Lake Michigan, Isla watched Anya and Jordan chase fireflies in the park. The old pain was still there, quieter now like a scar that only ached in cold weather. She had paid the price. Career setbacks, family estrangement, sleepless nights of doubt. But looking at the 2 people who made her whole, she knew she would pay it again. The fight had been worth every tear. True or false? Family honor should always come before living your truth?